Welcome, lovely people. I welcome you once again to Christ Without Borders. If this is the first time you're watching this channel, please click on the subscribe button, click on the like and the bell icon to be notified of any new video that I release onto this channel. Now, dearly beloved, this morning I want to talk to you about hurt, bitter, and traumatized people. Hurt, bitter, and traumatized people. There are a lot of hurt, there are a lot of bitter, and there are a lot of traumatized people all around us. All around us, wherever you find yourself, from a family setting, to the church, to the business environment, to the marketplace, wherever you find ourselves, there are hurt, there are bitter, and there are traumatized people. Now, before going further, I want to talk about the fruits of the Spirit and the fruits of the flesh, because it's very important to this message. It's very key to understanding what I'm going to talk about right now. And as I'm being led and being inspired by the Spirit of God, I'm going to go that way. Now, the fruit of a spirit I'm naming them is love, joy, peace, patience, charity, forgiveness. Essentially everything good that we need in a human being. Every positive trait we need in a human being is in the fruit of a spirit. Now, I'll name shortly the fruit of a flesh. Now, fruit of a flesh, jealousy, anger. There's even in anger there are types. There's a godly anger which Jesus used to sack all those people in the temple who were trading and selling stuff. But I'll use the other anger, the negative one, the one that destroys. So anything that we don't need in a man is in the fruit of the flesh. Anger, jealousy, bitterness, envy, selfishness, greed, malicious ideas, lies, deceit, and all of that. Everything we don't want in a human being is in the fruit of the flesh. Now, when Jesus was tempted by the devil, after he had come through the fasting and all of that, he said one thing. He said, "Lo, behold, the enemy cometh. The enemy comes, but he has nothing in me. Behold, the king of this world, the enemy comes, but there's nothing of him in me." What was he saying? Jesus was confirming that he didn't have any of the fruit of the flesh in him. There was none in him. He is coming. The enemy will come. He will come at you. But what? That's what I was saying. The enemy coming, but there's nothing of him, which is the fruit of the flesh, in me. Now, coming back to hurt, bitter, and traumatized people. Now, something is, I want to state the fact, is that you can't give what you don't have. You can't give love when you don't have love. You can't bless when you are not blessed. You can't curse when you are not cursed. It's serious. You can't give when you have not been given. Simple, straightforward. And this we will see it all around us. You can't be the light when you have not received the light. So, what am I saying? The fruits of the Spirit is very important. And most of the time it has to do with kind of giving in a way. Now, when it comes to hurt, bitter, and traumatized people, these were good people before. These were very good people, very open people, very loving people. But at a point in time in their lives and in their journey through life, something happened. Something came up. You see that their childhood was taken from them at a very young age, forcibly. And that's the problem we encounter when a woman is raped. She loses something. And also, trauma. Trauma is one of the ways the enemy uses to open children up for demon infestations. The devil uses it. And especially he attacks children with a future, children with a gift, children who have a higher calling. Traumatized people. A man can be traumatized, a woman can also be traumatized. When you force yourself on a young girl, 6, 7 years, you rape that child. You have traumatized that child. You've taken that child through a difficult encounter. And that experience opens these children up for demonic takeover. You can do your research and check some of the music artists we have and around. You are going to realize it. People like Tupac were traumatized through their childhood, very difficult childhood, so they became something else. You check it. Michael Jackson, very talented person, but was traumatized in his childhood by how his father was treating him. Traumatized. And that opens him up for demonic infestation. You can check all these people. Prince, check all these celebrities. A lot of them were traumatized in their childhood. Though they were very gifted, but if you speak to them, you discover a lot of them were traumatized through their childhood, which allowed the enemy and allowed the demon to take over them. The devil uses trauma to put or install his demons into a person who God has intended to have a great future. So traumatized people, bitter people, and hurt people were hurt by other people. They used to be very good people to that incident. And when that incident happened, they were not able to overcome. They were not able to forgive. They did not receive any help, counseling to overcome that situation. And so that's who they are now. That's who you are seeing in front of you now. But once upon a time, they were very good people. Hurt people, bitter people, and traumatized people can come back to the Lord. A lot of the people you are seeing around, the prostitutes standing in the traffic lights, when you speak to them, you realize that a lot of them were hurt, bitter, and traumatized at some point in time, and they decided to take their own life, take their own matters into their own hands. When you discover and you speak to a lot of the weed smokers, the junkies you are seeing lying there on the streets and all of that thing, you realize that they used to be very good people, but at some point in time, something happened that caused them to be hurt, bitter, and traumatized. And when these three things happen, there are other things. You see, these three things, the hurt, the bitter, the traumatization, or being traumatized, opens the doors, as I've said before, for demonic infestation. Opens the doors. What door is it? It's a door of unforgiveness. Through the door of unforgiveness, the enemy is able to install other demons in these people, which makes them very bad and makes them people you don't want to deal with in society. But once upon a time, you were very good people. The devil uses the door of unforgiveness to start sowing into these people, to start putting things in these people. So it's a door of unforgiveness. But after that, you're going to see most of these people, they're going to see jealousy, you're going to see envy, you're going to see jealousy, you're going to see envy, you're going to see greed, sometimes even being deceitful, malicious ideas and intentions. These are good people, but something happened. most of the time is childhood. When you're going to get married to a woman, please spend time with her, talk to her, speak to her, find out what happened in her childhood. When you find out what happened in her childhood, you will know how to work with her, you know how to help her. There's a lot of these things around everywhere, in the church, in the home, in the family, in the office. The reason why someone is acting in a way is not because they want to be like that, but something happened some time ago. They did not get help, did not get counsel, and nobody opened up, nobody gave them a shoulder of support, and so their minds reverted to that. This is how everybody is, and they locked themselves in. And so everybody they encounter, this is how they treat them. If you've been with a woman who has been traumatized in the past, when she sees you, the only thing she's seeing is the guy who hurt her, who did all that bad stuff, beat her and all that to her. So because she has locked herself in, she can't open up. Her heart is hardened. Him, her, whoever it is, that person's heart is hardened. They have a hardened heart. And a hardened heart doesn't know how to love. A hardened heart only cares about itself. A hardened heart is selfish. A hardened heart is greedy. They have closed themselves in. They have locked themselves in, so they can't open up. They can't share. They can't trust. They can't love. This is who they have become. Because something happened in the past that they did not have help. There was nobody there to help them. There was somebody there to encourage them. There was no shoulder to cry on. And so they went through that pain alone and have decided that this is it. This is what it is. Nobody is caring about me, so I'll do it this way. And they have locked themselves in. I'm still talking about hurt, bitter, and traumatized people. Upon a time, they were good people, but something happened in the past. Something happened in the past. There was nobody there to help them. There was nobody there to counsel them. They have lived with this situation and this pain for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years. And so this is who they have become. They have locked themselves in and they are not capable of loving. Their hearts have been hardened. They were very good people. You see that a lot of artists and a lot of stars, the Hollywood stars, if you will do research, you will find out some of the most talented ones were so traumatized. They were so traumatized. One of them is Michael Jackson. So traumatized in his childhood. He wanted to show love, wanted to share love, but there was nobody. This is the part one of this message because it's quite lengthy. So I want to just take my time. I want to break it down so that you can get it. You can get all of it. What I'm trying to talk about and where I'm trying to take it to. The hurt, the bitter, and traumatized people. These were good people. The prostitutes standing there, over there. Most of these women are talented people. Most of these people were supposed to become great people in ministry. The enemy saw it. He saw their future. And so use people around them, as I've said before. Use hurt people around them. Use bitter people around them. Use traumatized people around them to traumatize them. So they became like them. And as I said earlier, you can't hurt if you are not being hurt. You can't be bitter if nobody has made you bitter. You can't traumatize anybody if you yourself, you are not traumatized. And that is what it is. You can't deceive anybody. Unless you yourself, you have been really deceived some time ago. So this is why I end it. Watch out for the part 2. Thank you once again. This is Christ Without Borders. God richly bless you.